And I agree. I would want to see more from Team Falcons as well. It was already brought up by our panelists. Initially, I think heading into this tournament, you were really expecting them to be one of the cleanest, but game one, GCG pushed them to the limits by just a little bit. So this time around, though, things seem to be pretty different, draft-wise especially.
Oh, what a sneaky little invade here by Kyle. Able to take a camp out. He figured out the starting path and was able to take at least one of these camps. This does mean that it's going to be a bit of a delay. However, we're going to see Recall here going to try and contest this. It's dangerous stuff, and admittedly, they played it well. Even Haji getting into the right position to see it happen.
Yeah, somehow equalizing the advantage in the early game, given that Kyle did take away one green camp. But a quick look onto the emblems as well. There seems to be the mid duo taking that PYT.
Interesting stuff, but at the same time, I'm liking the way that Falcons are actually playing this right now. Flap gonna take a bit of damage here. What's that? Felt like that was a kill angle.
Yeah, if it weren't for Oakwood.
Yeah, but even then, I think that should have been a solo kill, right? Empower jab into auto attack would have been like more than enough to take him out here, but now.
Oh, this is something unexpected. Xying did not expect that, but it was still GUANGZHOU who actually picked up first blood. They find Haji in exchange of Xying, but it's a double kill now for Kyle, and it seems like they got the better trade.
A much better trade, in a matter of fact, and May understood. Again, this Grok can be a game changer. The problem is that it's very timing based, right? You have to maintain control over tempo. It's not a fight on a dime type hero. You really have to kind of set the plays and really find the right angles. At the same time, with tempo. Oh, whoa. All right. So we know that Kyle's on top side.
Okay, and now, you know, the Modi's just holding this bush. We're seeing dangerous grass in a while, and now it's Falcon starting it up. But Recall and the rest of the members are going to be here too. Flap trying to look for an angle. He's not going to go in for the setup just yet, and there you go. But it's still Recall actually winning out on the retry battle. Blazing to it, already coming in here by side. SOD will not connect, but Oakwood still goes in for the knockups, and the flicker from Flap. They still actually find Xying, but they might just get traded out. Unfortunately, the heavy spin will keep them safe. The knockups, however, close call for Oakwood right there.
What a timing by both of these supports. They both knew we're about to hit level 4. Just give me the right timing. I just need to reveal one extra person. The tech charge alongside with a heavy spin. Life-changing spells. And now you get to see how these compositions actually want to play the game now, right? Falcons, understandably, hey, even though it's a skirmish, we can't risk losing these big spells before the most important fight. But look at Kyle, repathing down towards the purple side, knowing that Hirara is on the orange buff side.
Yep, I think the only small win really that we could really consider from that was the fact that Recall still got the objective. Other than that, the team fight, the post-turtle takes seem to have really favored Falcons, especially as Recall has lost on so much resources at this point already. Fortunately though, he's not really as behind, but you can see that Kyle is really having such a good start.
Wait, keep your eyes out here. Flap might find an angle. If he gets on top of Xing, it might just be over. It doesn't reveal him, but he's going to walk through. Good check. Good game sense.
Yep. They're not they could not afford to lose out on any more. At least Modi, I think, would be communicating every single time he feels that Flap isn't within the area. Another gold grab. I think that's the second time Super Marco stole it away from GUANGZHOU. That's
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Committing it all just for these small advantages. That's what separates the boys from the men. Oh, CY's in so much trouble.
Okay, there's a Purify still, but he still gets caught in the heavy spin nonetheless. The damage from Haji is going to be enough. The question is, does Oakwood get out of this? He might just, but not with the real-world manipulation being laid down.
Okay, that's actually incredible. That's actually incredible for Falcons. No RWM. They get to technically contest this for free, but can they do it right now? Flap misses everything.
Yep, he doesn't get to find a setup, and still GUANGZHOU will be the one securing this objective. Kyle will not make it as he just focuses on this green camp, but that's knowing that they didn't have the real world, and now GUANGZHOU might get more. They might just find Kyle. Fortunately, is still alive though, but Xying picks up the kill. Now they're gonna go for the chase. It's May and Xying trying to get back under their turrets. Another barrier laid down, and the flicker to get out.
Oh, this is ridiculous. That fork lightning. Oh no, wait. Does he have? Okay, he does have body slam, but CY chasing this really isn't gonna get much until he gets that Trinity build. But my goodness, getting to see the fork lightning being spammed like, what, 3 times? I know that they changed the cooldowns to it so that you can like chain it together much easier than last time where you needed to be like level 11, level 10 around there to get it consistently. But now here at level 7, I mean, Haji is doing it consistently too.
Yeah, and at least for Falcons, despite what happened earlier on, they didn't really lose the advantage. Like, they still have the advantage in their hands nonetheless, despite Flap slipping up on that setup and them actually not being able to contest for the objective. And maybe that's one thing GUANGZHOU can just really try to capitalize on. The fact that even if the Akai is on the other side, the way that they just get in and out of these fights and still have these utilities to really rely on, such as the tech charge and real-world manipulation, might just give them the upper hand.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I think GZG, they got the mechanics, and I think they also have great communication with each of their members, but I think Falcons is much better at just playing patient, and honestly, super tactical. Oh,
Flap is gonna be here, Haji flickers out, but they find themselves under the real-world manipulation, but they're not gonna fight under that anymore. So that's just resources burned again from the side of GUANGZHOU pre-turtle.
And here I was complimenting GZG about, great communication, and yet, they could have, I don't know, used their ults at the same time, or find the engagement a little bit sooner, but that's fine. It happens, especially in high-stakes games, and especially when you're playing against a team like Falcon. You know they've got plenty of history.
Yeah, Kyle shows up here in mid, and Oguan will be at least positioning here in the turtle. But GUANGZHOU have a lot of information. They know what to expect and where they could potentially come from. But does Flap start things off again?
I think it's about the big question.
Oh, it's gonna be Mei instead who gets caught now. Tech charge does land, but does he go down in the deadly magic? It's not gonna be the case. GUANGZHOU once again take the objective for themselves, and it's Flap just trying to run for his life, but X-King does not allow him to get away. And this seems like a repeat of game number 1, where it's not Kyle going to the other side of the map, but instead it's just Super Marco at this point.
Only naturally, right? Because when you have the access to the SOD, being able to close that distance with the rest of your team on mutual objectives is sort of the point. But I think at this stage, Super Marco, he's probably going to start rotating after clearing this bot side, rotate over to mid, and then immediately, oh wait, actually, does he need to? Nah, he doesn't need to. The Lord is going to spawn on that top side. He's staying down bot.
Oh, but half HP. GUANGZHOU Gaming have been really good in terms of these pokes and back and forths as well, not really granting the massive advantage to Falcons despite the slight sloppiness, I'd say, especially pre-objectives. But at least they're somehow grouping together and making sure that they somehow, at least, the next team fight we see, get to communicate and layer their skills better.
Yeah, I'm noticing that GZG, like, the gold lead isn't too far away from the Falcons, right? You can play a little disrespectful, but I've noticed that they don't really invade, do they? They just sit around the river a lot of the time. Thanks for bringing up the items, because I am curious to see how far along the track they are. Chastised Pauldron already purchased by Mei, and now that the rest of the Falcons are looking to get this tier 2 side, we're just a little bit of gold off before Super Marco is actually able to complete the Trinity. DHS and he's done.
Yeah, I think the only time we really got to see them invade was when Mei was on the Hilda, and it was just Mei as the Hilda. Like, there wasn't really help that came from the other members as much, and that's naturally what you expect. But this time, on the Grok and Eve, it seems to be a bit different in terms of their gameplay, or maybe Falcons too are just overwhelmingly good in controlling the map.
Maybe, but I think the Falcons need to recognize that, hey, GZG are really good at chasing you down, so they cannot take that initial impact. If it's too much damage and they back away, it's just as good as a wipeout. So I think that Falcons are being extra precautious on the way that they need to maneuver around these fights, knowing that the tech charge is probably their best form of counter-engage, and the real-world manipulation, it's a box, so you got to start thinking about angles.
GZZ are just blocking off the entries for Ogun at this point, forcing the recall for Super Marco just to get here, but now Modi all alone. How did it end up like this? There were just 3 members surrounding him at that point, and he was all alone. Now GZG are down 1. Recall shows up. Flap trying to keep him in check. Mei still has the ultimate, but Ogun uses his first. And now Falcons are just gonna go for Hero. Super Marco's here to help. Sai using the Blazing Duet to get away, but the SOD is gonna land. Super Marco goes in. Flap 2 helping him make or get some kills. But that's just them pushing GZG out as they focus on the objective.
That has to be one of the biggest whiffs of all time. Zipper, don't put up the replay on that one. I swear to God. Recall dying there? Like, why would you use your iframes to try and bail? Like, you can't stop the spin. That's the problem with a heavy spin. You can't stop it. Oh! Doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah.
But sure, boy, was that flashy. That looked cool.
It was cool. And they got Tier 2 turrets out of that too. Unfortunately, you have to take a look at the replay.
God damn it, Zipper! I mean, just look at Recall, right? There's no reason for him to actually dash into this to get the extra little bit of damage. If they wanted to do something earlier, it's got to be the RWM. The order was wrong, and unfortunately for Recall, he should have known. Don't go into the heavy spin. You can't cancel it out as easy as you think it can.
Yep. And now they have to deal with the Lord, who is still up, by the way, marching down bot as Falcons will just try to focus out on the other remaining outer turrets. And Recall shows up yet again in this spot. Fortunately has the iframes, but now it's Falcons winning out big. It's a 5k gold lead all over again. At least they have Holy Shields, because earlier when they had this Lord, their Holy Shields were already down.
But still, it's pretty good. GCG, if they can just clear out these... Oh, the conceal.
Oh, Flap's gonna go in. Does find one. Real world manipulation used as a response, though. Kyle's just gonna focus on X-Ying! Deadly Magic definitely gonna take him downside. Doesn't have enough damage with the Blazing Do It just yet, but Recall will finish the job. They find one in exchange of two. Kyle being chased by Modi, but this is not enough. Super Marco goes in! SOD threatens them, and they cannot chase after Kyle anymore. Modi, though! Can they actually do this?
Almost. Oh, he outplays it! He gets the power, but still dies at the end. The KDA machine says no!
Wow, Owen picked up an Immortality too. Were they expecting the team fight to last a bit longer than it should have? Another Deadly Magic onto May. But this is going to be a croc, so they're not going to take him down.
Yeah, typical Paquito things, am I right? You know, it's just like Suyo when you're just about... You get that first kill, and then you purchase the Sky Piercer. Same goes for the Immos, right? It happens at times. But for the time being, we can see that, like, they've got good damage here. I am curious to see what they have. Thank you for the item, Zipper. 3 already done. Malefic Gun on the way through. Winds of Nature, good purchase here for Super Marco. They understand that it's going to be up to the Blazing Duet to kind of make up for the lack of damage.
Yeah, so we see that how surprisingly Modi lasted a bit longer than we thought, apart from the fact that, yeah, Haji's skills were mostly on cooldown, I'd say, but this is looking really devastating. The damage that you can expect from Kyle is really massive, and now Etienne gets caught by Flap once again. It's just Flap doing all of this pressure onto the back lines, and he surprisingly nearly took him down. May will be the exchange for this, but Kyle trying to go for the chase of the back lines too. GZG now have left Recall all alone against 5 of Team Falcons.
Literally 1 HP, and the crowd's going wild for this one. Wasn't expecting them to survive, expecting at least a 2 for 1 trade, and they get denied even that. An 8k gold lead as Falcons have taken this mid-game all the way to the late and are looking to punch a hole straight through GZG.
Yep, it's just Kyle on the Lord. No threat whatsoever from the side of GZG. At least Sai can still hold on to this Purify later on for this upcoming siege, but it's looking scary. The way or the ways that Falcons can just attempt to go in for a dive.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Modi though. Although the build is a little more defensive, not looking to take full advantage of the kit in multiple different ways, I think getting a War Axe might actually be profitable for him. He's been playing a really good peel. Yeah. He saved the life of Seeing, and I think they got it. Oh!
You just mentioned him. You just mentioned his name, and he nearly went down.
Don't worry. If it's not for Modi, it's May who's going to block the damage. They are working in tandem with each other.
They have to at this point, because they're the only ones that GZG could really rely on when it comes to the all-out team fights. Kyle is going to hold this bush. Recall has no idea, and the Lord is going to march down here as well. They get this turret for free, and now Oakland goes in. Already down half HP though, so you got to respect the damage coming from GZG.
They're dancing around this, and they understand, man, the waves are not exactly in the best position, and unfortunately, in comparison to Guangzhou's Gaming's lineup, it's a lot harder to get the siege down.
Oh, Recall goes in. Oakland already very low.
They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know.
They're gonna back away from this.
Yeah, because the Purify was still up too, even if he went for the tech charge there.
I'm realizing. I thought they got rid of the eye. Or maybe this is like a spectator thing.
Oh, yeah.
That we get to see the eye, but they don't.
Yeah.
This is nice. This is a little quality of life change that we've been asking for that now being implemented onto our, at least for our observers.
Did they take out the eye or just the delay when you see?
It is the delay on the eye as well, but even so, let's see where this is going to lead to, because right now Falcons have been bouncing back and forth between top side and bottom side just to get every buff underneath the sun.
Okay, the threat of the tech charge is there, but the damage from side too, shredding down Owen to bases. Immortality already popped. The setup from Flap, catching two with the follow-up damage coming in from Kyle. They're definitely gonna take out more. Modi falls first. The iframes are not gonna keep Recall safe as Super Marco ends it from the sides, finds a double, and just waits for the waves to come crashing in the base.
A chop to the neck. Trying to break the neck now, trying to go for the throat. Seeing, what can he do? What do they have access to? They could try, no, not even the RWM is accessible, and Falcons will close this game out with a clean 2-0 against Guangzhou Gaming.